Okay, so we're now on part 4. I thought this topic would just last until part 4, but because the subject matter is important, because this specifically included to be 5% of the board exam, so we will reach until part 5 pa. So we still have part 5 after this. Okay. So we are now on liquidation. So tapos na tayo sa rehabilitation. This time, we will discuss the procedures for liquidation. Okay. If you can still remember, liquidation is already the process of converting assets into cash so that this cash can be distributed to the creditors for payment. Because in these cases of liquidation, there is no more need for rehabilitation because it is not feasible anymore. So first and foremost, let us talk about juridical debtors. Okay, this may be a corporation or a partnership registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So how do you liquidate a juridical debtors? We have number one, of course, voluntary liquidation. This is filed by filing a petition sa court for liquidation. Okay, so any insolvent debtor na juridical may apply for liquidation by filing a petition for liquidation with the court. The petition should be verified and shall establish the following. Okay, schedule of debts, listahan ng utang, including a list of creditors, listahan ng mga pinagkautangan. B, listahan ng lahat ng assets, receivables against sellers, other persons. C, the names of at least 3 nominees for the position of liquidator. Hindi na siya this time dahil liquidation na tayo, hindi na yung rehabilitation receiver ang i-nominate ng court kundi ang liquidator na. Okay? So if you look at this class, nag-file ka ng petition for liquidation. Ibig sabihin pala, it is not necessary na mag-file ka muna ng petition for rehabilitation, saka ka mag-file for liquidation. Okay? Yung petition for rehabilitation, pinafile lang yun if it is alleged na pwede pa i-rehab. Okay? So kung wala ka pang na-file, you are a juridical debtor, wala pang na-file, tapos sa tingin mo liquidation ng diretso kasi hindi na pwede ang rehabilitation, then you can file diretso na liquidation. Okay, dito yun. Step 2, filing or this is not step 2 pala, this is the second type, filing a motion to convert the rehabilitation proceedings into the liquidation proceedings. Okay, yung kanina, yung 1, yun yung portion na nag-file ka agad ng liquidation, wala nang rehabilitation, hindi na dumaan sa rehabilitation. Pero itong number 2, ang nangyari dito, una sila nag-file rehabilitation. Okay? Kaya nakasulat to, filing a motion. And then during the rehabilitation, nakita na hindi na pwede ang rehabilitation, hindi na feasible, then mag-motion ka na lang doon sa court na i-convert yung proceedings from rehabilitation to liquidation. Okay? Siya kaya motion. Sa number 1, direct na file na yon, automatic liquidation yon, ang pinafile doon petition. While dito sa number 2, dahil may ongoing na rehabilitation proceedings, dahil nauna ang rehabilitation ng file, okay, doon na lang sa court, mag-motion ka na lang i-convert into liquidation proceedings. So, at any time during the pendency of the court-supervised or pre-negotiated rehabilitation proceedings, the debtor may also initiate liquidation proceedings by filing a motion in the same court. Okay. So, motion na lang. If the petition or the motion, petition yung number 1, or the motion itong number 2, as the case may be, is sufficient in form and substance, the court shall issue a liquidation order. Okay? So, hindi na rehabilitation order, kundi liquidation order. So, if the court, yung sa petition mo sa number 1, yung diretso na file ng liquidation, nakita ng court na okay naman, liquidation order ang i-issue niya. Dito na sa number 2, if ang motion okay naman, mag-issue pa rin ang court ng liquidation order. Now, putulin natin itong procedure dito sa liquidation order because lahat ng procedure sa liquidation, except suspension of payments, Okay? Iba-iba lang ang pag-file. Iba-iba lang ang type sa start. Tapos, mag-issue ang court ng liquidation order. From the liquidation order down, pare-pareho ng procedure. Okay? So, yung procedure sa number 1 kanina, petition for liquidation. After that, mag-issue ang court ng liquidation order. Ito namang number 2, motion doon sa rehabilitation proceedings. Okay? Mag-issue pa rin ang court ng liquidation order. Okay? So, putulin natin itong liquidation order. I-discuss muna natin kung paano i-start yung iba. Okay? Sa part 5, i-discuss natin yung liquidation order pababa dahil pare-pareho na sila lahat. So, after voluntary, we have involuntary liquidation. Of course, ito ang pina-file ng creditors against doon sa juridical na i-liquidate yung juridical debtor. Okay? So, filing of petition for liquidation of debtor. Pwede na rin pala, diretso na. Okay? So, if you are 3 or more creditors, ang claim nyo 1 million at least, or 25% of the subsidiary capital stock, pwede kayo mag-file ng liquidation of your debtor. Diretso na, wala nang rehabilitation. Pwede rin yun. Okay? Or number 2, yung mga creditors, mag-file doon sa rehabilitation proceedings if merong may rehabilitation proceedings na ongoing. Doon sila mag-file ng motion. Halos pareho lang ito sa voluntary. Ang kaibahan lang yung sa voluntary liquidation, yung mag-file ng petition doon or ng motion is ang debtor. Dito sa involuntary liquidation, of course, mag-file dito creditor. Okay? Kung gusto nila diretso liquidation, yung number 1 kanina, file sila ng petition. Pero if may rehabilitation proceedings na ongoing, pwede yung creditor ang mag-file ng motion. Yung voluntary yun. Okay? Basta yung nag-motion, ganun pa rin. At least 1 million ang utang and at least 25% of the subsidiary capital stock and so on and so forth. Okay? So, ang voluntary at saka involuntary liquidation, halos pareha lang ang start ng kaibahan lang. Dun sa voluntary, debtor ang nag-start. Sa involuntary, creditor. Okay? Whether mag-file sila ng diretso ng liquidation or rehabilitation muna, and then doon sa rehabilitation proceedings, pag hindi na feasible, doon sila mag-motion the same court para hindi na sila mag-file ng bagong case. Pwede yun. Depende sa situation yun. Okay? Kung sa umpisa pa lang, the rehabilitation is not anymore feasible, the liquidation ka agad ang i-file. Pero pagka pwede pa i-rehabilitation proceedings man ang i-file, then pag hindi talaga kaya, mag-motion na lang na i-convert into liquidation proceedings. Okay? So, if the petition or motion dito sa involuntary liquidation is proper, okay, the court will issue an order directing the publication of the petition or motion in newspaper general circulation once a week for 2 consecutive weeks, directing the debtor and creditors who are not petitioners to further comment to the petition. Okay? So, ito, liquidation order pa rin. If natapos na ito lahat, mag-issue na naman ng court ng liquidation order. So, putulin natin dito dahil yung liquidation order na procedure pababa will be in part 5. So, let us proceed. So, ito, conversion by the court into liquidation proceedings. So, aside from pwede mag-file ang debtor sa voluntary, sa involuntary naman, ang mag-file is ang creditor, pwede din na ang court mismo, kahit walang petition, kahit walang motion, basta may rehabilitation proceedings before the court, okay, may rehabilitation proceedings sa court, kahit walang motion ang debtor, kahit walang motion ang creditor, basta sinabi ng rehabilitation receiver sa court, I am recommending na hindi na ito pwede i-rehab, i-liquidate na lang ito, liquidation na. So, pwede mismo, ang court mismo, ang mag-convert. Okay. Siyempre, ibig sabihin nito, pag i-convert ng court into liquidation proceedings, ibig sabihin, may existing na rehabilitation. Okay. Hindi pwede magsabi ang court, liquidation, tapos walang namang rehabilitation. Okay. So, ang pwede i-convert ng court na liquidation proceedings is yung existing lang na rehabilitation proceedings. Okay. And then, mag-issue pa rin siya ng liquidation order ang court. And then, patuloy natin dito sa bandang ito because we will discuss this liquidation order and the other procedures after that in part 5. So, let us proceed with individual debtors naman this time. Okay. Individual debtors, yung hindi na juridical, siyempre. Individual na mga tao na ito na natural persons. Okay. Number 1 is suspension of payments. Take note class, sa suspension of payments, hindi talaga ito yung liquidation dahil sa suspension of payments, you should remember na maraming assets ang ang debtor, kaya lang hindi niya mabayaran yung mga utang niya as they fall due because wala siya masyadong cash. So, ang sinasabi niya lang dito sa court, yung petition niya, is to stop the payments muna, convert muna yung assets into cash para mabayaran yung utang. Okay? So therefore, this one is walang liquidation order. Ito lang yung walang liquidation order. Okay? So, ang i-file dito, petition to be declared in the state of suspension of payments. Okay, so yun ang individual debtor, natural na tao, hindi corporation, hindi partnership, ito i-file niya. I-file siya na kung marami siyang assets, wala siyang pambayad na cash, ito i-file niya. Para ma-stop mo na yung mga utang, din dahan-dahan ibenta ng court yung assets para pambayad doon sa utang. Ito yun. Ito mag-start. So, individual debtor who possessing sufficient property to cover all his debts, but foreseeing the impossibility of meeting them when they fall due, may file this petition. Okay? Anong i-attach niya doon? Number 1, schedule of asset, debts, and liabilities. Listahan ng utang niya. Letter B, listahan ng lahat ng assets niya. And letter C, a proposed agreement with these creditors. Okay, ito ang importante dito, class. Dahil dito sa suspension of payments, walang magiging liquidation order kasi strictly speaking, hindi naman talaga ito liquidation, kundi parang time out lang sa utang para maka-raise mo na ng pera bago bayaran. So, ang i-attach ng debtor dito is proposed agreement kung paano niya babayaran yung mga utang. Ito pinaka-importante dito. Ito ang i-discuss ng court actually, itong proposed agreement. Walang liquidation order, walang rehabilitation order, kundi ito. Proposed agreement. So, mag-propose na dito yung debtor. Take note lang sa suspension of payments, ang mag-file lang nito, ang debtor lang ha, walang suspension of payments na creditor ang nag-file. Okay. So, number 2, after nag-file nung individual debtor for suspension of payments, anong gagawin ng court? Anong action ng court? Itong action ng court. Mag-issue siya ng order. Calling ng meeting of the creditors. Okay? Kasi nga, nag-file ng suspension of payments yung debtor, tapos nag-propose siya ng agreement. Therefore, ang court, sabi ng court, sige, mag-issue ako ng order. Tawagin lahat ng creditors. Letter B, mga creditors, magdala kayo ng mga ebidensya ninyo na meron kayong claim. Letter C, i-publish sa newspaper yung order ni judge. And letter D, sabihan ni judge, yung debtor, wag mo munang i-benta, i-transfer mga properties mo because that will be covered by the case. Except only if the ordinary course of business, yung binibenta niya, yun lang pwede niya ibenta. Okay. Yung in the ordinary course of business. E, prohibit the individual debtor from making any payment. Huwag mo na magbayad ng utang, stop mo na. Time out mo na sa utang. F, appointing a commissioner to preside over the creditors meeting. Okay. Sa rehabilitation class, ang in charge doon isang rehabilitation receiver. Sa liquidation, isang liquidator. Pero dito sa suspension of payments, dahil hindi naman talaga ito liquidation per se, this is just a time out sa utang, ang tawag doon sa in charge actually is the commissioner. Okay. So dahil napatawag si judge ng meeting, ang commissioner ang mag-preside. Okay, then i-present niya yung proposed agreement ng debtor doon sa creditor. So, And then, mag-issue din ng court ng suspension order. Okay, kapag hiningi ng, if upon motion or hiningi ng credit debtor, the court may issue an order suspending any pending execution against the individual debtor. Properties held by secured creditors shall not be the subject of such suspension order. Okay, ibig sabihin nito, class, if may mga case na natapos na sa ibang court, tapos si sheriff parating na para manghila ng properties ni debtor, pati yun, stop na. Except lang kung yung properties is hawak ng secured creditors, hindi kasama yun. Dahil nga, secured creditors is, kaya nga sila secured kasi may hawak silang property. Wala kasama yun dito sa suspension order. Dahil mawala yung security nila. So, no creditor shall institute or sue proceedings to collect his claim. Ito yun sa suspension claims. Hindi rin pwede mag-file ng ibang kaso ang creditors para mangolekta. Dahil nandun na lahat sa court kung saan nag-file ng suspension of payments. So, lahat ng creditors hindi pwede mag-file ng ibang kaso. Lahat dapat doon na lang sa court na nag-file ng suspension of payments. Okay? Except, may exception yun. Ibig sabihin, pwede pa mag-file sa ang ibang creditor kung ang claim niya is for salary. Letter B, yung mga secured creditors. Dahil yung mga secured creditors, may hawak silang mga secured properties, maybe it's a pledge or maybe a mortgage. Okay? So, they can proceed on their own mag-file ng sariling case. Ang hindi lang pwede mag-file ng ibang case is yung mga unsecured creditors. Then, okay, mag-meeting ng creditors, mag-preside si commissioner. So, dapat, para may majority, dapat 3/5. Okay, nandoon yung creditor ng 3/5 of liability. Halimbawa, ang isang tao lang nakarating, pero 3/5 naman yung claim niya, considered majority yun. Okay. Basta ang claim ng mga present is at least 3/5 of the liabilities, majority na yun, pwede na mag-meeting. Okay. Kasi pag hindi umabot ng 3/5, yung claim, hindi yung number of tao, kundi 3/5 yung amount. For example, sa 1 million, that is how much? 3/5 of 1 million. If ang may claim yan, isang tao, dalawang tao, okay lang. Basta, nandyan, at least 3/5 of the creditors representing 3/5 of the liabilities. Okay? So, para valid ang meeting, ay makaproceed, dapat ang majority 3/5. Hindi 50%, kundi 3/5 lang. Okay. And then, i-discuss nila yung proposed agreement. By the way, pag hindi umabot ng 3/5 plus, ano yun? Hindi matutuloy ang creditors meeting. Okay? Balik yung commissioner, mag-report sa court. Hindi natuloy ang meeting kasi hindi dumating ang 3/5 ng creditors. Okay? So, if na-meet naman yung 3/5, number 2 is i-discuss na nila yung agreement. So, dalawang pwede mangyari sa agreement. It's either mag-agree ang creditors or hindi mag-agree ang creditors. Okay? So, kung ano man ang mangyari doon, yung commissioner, i-report niya pa rin doon sa court kung anong nangyari. So, tatlo ang pwede i-report ng commissioner doon sa court. Number 1, hindi nagkaroon ng meeting because hindi dumating ang 3/5. Or, may majority dumating ang 3/5 pero nag-agree sila sa agreement or hindi sila nag-agree doon sa proposed agreement. So, yan ang tatlong possibilities. Okay, ito yun. The proposed agreement is deemed rejected if the number of creditors required for holding a meeting do not attend thereat. Okay. Pag hindi daw nakarating ang 3/5, considered rejected yung agreement. Or if the majority are not in favor thereof. Ito yung second ko kanina. Okay. Merong 3/5 pero hindi sila nag-agree sa proposed agreement, considered rejected pa rin yung agreement. In such instances, the proceedings shall be terminated without recourse and the parties concerned shall be at liberty to enforce rights that may correspond to them. Okay, so hindi matutuloy ang suspension of payments pagka hindi nila na-agreehan yung proposed agreement. Okay, so pwede sila mag-claim na kanya-kanya na sila. Any creditor who attended the meeting who dissented from therefrom the protest may be protested against the vote of the majority, may file an objection sa court. So if majority nag-agree doon sa agreement, then meron lang konti na hindi nag-agree, nag-dissent. Okay, pwede sila mag-file ng objection doon sa court. So anong mangyari sa court? Pagdating sa court, tapos ng creditors meeting, mag-report na si commissioner. Anong mangyari? Pwede mangyari, in case the decision of the majority of the creditors to approve the individual debtor's proposal or any amendment of major in the creditor is annulled by the court may declare the proceedings terminated and the creditor shall be at liberty to exercise the rights which may correspond to them. Okay. So kahit na nag-agree ang majority pero hindi sumunod sa patakaran ng court, pwede yun i-annul ng court. Like for example, hindi naman umabot ng 3/5, tapos nag-agree pa rin sila, i-annul pa rin yun ng court. Ang mangyari naman, wala ng suspension of payments, kanya-kanya na ng claim. Letter B, if the decision of the majority of the creditors to approve is upheld by the court, okay, so merong 3/5 na dumating, nag-agree sila doon sa agreement, therefore sabi ng court, sige, approvean ko yan, upheld by the court. Okay. In order that the agreement be carried out and all parties will be bound to the terms of the agreement. So pag na-approve na ng court yung proposed agreement, naging court approved agreement, lahat na bound doon sa agreement na yun. Performance of the agreement by the debtor. Siyempre, pag may agreement na, dapat i-perform yun ng debtor. Okay? Pag pinperform naman ng debtor at nabayaran yung mga utang, di tapos ng kaso, walang problema. Pero, if the individual debtor fails, in whole or in part, to perform the agreement decided during the meeting of the creditors, all rights which the creditor had against the individual debtors before the agreement shall revest in them. So, pag hindi ginawa ni debtor yung kanyang part, magbalik sa umpisa. Okay, kanya-kanya ng claim ng mga creditors. So, yan yung suspension of payments class, hindi talaga yun liquidation. Parang time out lang na sa pagbayad ng utang. Tapos may agreement na susundin, i-approve ng court. Dahan-dahan yun bayaran ng creditor. Anong debtor? Okay. Sa individual debtors, meron din tayong voluntary and involuntary liquidation tulad ng sa juridical debtors. So, sa voluntary, of course, si debtor ang mag-file dito. Anong i-file niya? Petition for liquidation. Okay. And the individual debtor whose properties are not sufficient, kulang ang properties niya, and ang utang niya is more than 500,000, may file a petition. I-attach niya yung listahan ng utang at listahan ng kanyang properties. Okay, so this act of filing a petition shall be considered as act of insolvency. Take note class, ang utang dapat more than 500,000. Ibig sabihin, pag less than 500,000, hindi ka pwede mag-file ng voluntary liquidation. Number 2, liquidation. Mag-issue ang court ng liquidation order. Okay. So, stop muna dyan. Kasi yung liquidation order sa part 5. Okay. So, the next type is the involuntary liquidation. Siyempre, nag-file nito isang creditors. Okay. Basta yung claim ng creditors, at least 500,000. Yung 1 million class is para yung sa juridical debtors. Sa individual debtors, ang bantayan is 500,000. At least 500,000 yung claim ng creditors. Ito, mahaba-haba ito. Dahil si creditor ang nag-file, dahil i-allege nila, ikwento nila doon kung bakit sa tingin nila kailangan na i-liquidate ang debtor. Itong example, ang tawag dito mga acts of insolvency. Yung kanina, yung sa voluntary, si debtor, basta nag-file si debtor ng petition for liquidation, that is called an act of insolvency. Ibig sabihin, ina-admit ng debtor na insolvent na siya. Kulang na yung properties niya pambayad ng utang. Pero dito sa involuntary liquidation, dahil creditor ang nag-file, dapat ikwento nila sa court kung anong klaseng act of insolvency ang ginawa ng debtor, which may be one of these. Enumerate ko lang para makita ninyo ang nature kung ibig sabihin ng act of insolvency. You need not memorize this kasi sobrang dami. Number 1, okay, the such person is about to depart or has departed the Republic of the Philippines with intent to defraud his creditors. Ibig sabihin, tumakbo sa abroad, okay, para takasan ang mga creditors. Letter B, that being absent from the Republic of the Philippines with intent to defraud his creditors, he remains absent. Ayaw talagang mapakita dito sa Pilipinas. That he conceals himself to avoid the service of legal processes for the purpose of hindering, delaying the liquidation or deferring. Or kahit na nandito lang sa Pilipinas, basta hindi siya mapakita para hindi siya ma-serve ng mga legal processes. Service of legal process class, ibig sabihin, i-serve sa kanya yung mga court documents. Ibig sabihin, bigyan siya ng kopya, i-serve sa kanya. Bigyan siya. Tatago siya para makatakas sa kaso. Act of insolvency pa rin yun. Pwede pa rin yun involuntary liquidation. Letter D. That he conceals or is removing any of his property to avoid its being attached or taken on legal process. Ginatago niya na ang mga properties niya dahan-dahan para hindi mahabol ng court or judiciary. That is an act of insolvency. E. That he has suffered his property to remain under attachment or legal right for the purpose of hindering or delaying. Okay, naano pa rin yun. Pinabayaan niya na ang properties niya sa ibang court. That he has confessed or offered to allow judgment o mayroong kaso siya na existing tapos i-offer niya lahat ng property niya. Nag-worry yung ibang creditor na hindi na mabayaran. Yung ibang creditor pwede na mag-file ng involuntary liquidation. That he has willfully suffered judgment to be taken. Halos pareho lang ang tanong niya. Okay. Natalo siya sa kabilang kaso. Okay. Nagpatalo siya doon sa ibang kaso para walang liquidation na mangyari dito sa mga naiwan na creditors. That he has suffered or procured his property to be taken on legal process to give preference to one or more of his creditors. Okay? So, may ibang kaso siya, tapos binigay niya yung mga properties niya, and tapos giving preference to one debtor or two or more debtors. Tapos yung ibang mapabayaan na. Yung ibang napabayaan, pwede mag-file ng liquidation. That he has made any assignment, gift, sale, conveyance. Okay. Binigay niya, binenta ang mga properties para walang liquidation na mangyari or para itago yung properties from the creditors. Okay. That is an act of insolvency. What else? That he has, in contemplation of insolvency, made any payment, gift, grant, sale, conveyance, or transfer of his estate, property, or rights. I-transfer niya pa rin para matago yung properties. That being a merchant salesman, he has generally defaulted in the payment for a period of 30 days. 30 days na siya, pag negosyante siya, dito pa siya nakabayan. That is an act of insolvency. L, for a period of 30 days, he has failed. Hindi pa rin nakapagbayad for 30 days. That on execution having been issued against him on final judgment for money, he shall have been found to be without sufficient property, subject to execution to satisfy the judgments. Meron siyang existing kaso, natalo siya, wala. Tapos sinabol yung properties niya, wala ng property na mahabol. That is an act of insolvency. So, ano mangyayari nito? Yung mga creditors na nag-file ng involuntary liquidation, mag-post ng bond. Dahil nagkwento lang sila sa court, mag-post sila ng bond. Ibig sabihin, mag-file. Parang piyansa ba? Mag-deposit ng pera sa court. Kasi pag nakita ng court later on sa hearing na hindi totoo yung sinabi nilang act of insolvency, okay, magkakaroon ng penalty yung mga creditors na nag-file ng involuntary liquidation, then yung penalty nila kukunin doon sa nag-deposit nila na pera na bond. Okay? Okay. Number 2, court order to individual debtor to show cause. Okay. Si involuntary liquidation to class, nag-file si creditor nagkwento sila kung anong klaseng act of insolvency ang nangyari. Anong magiging order ng court? Ang court yung mag-order doon sa individual debtor to show cause kung bakit hindi, kung totoo bang dapat na siyang i-liquidate o hindi. So upon the filing of such creditor's petition, the court shall issue an order requiring the individual debtor to show cause why he should not be adjudged an insolvent. Upon good cause shown, the court may issue an order forbidding the individual debtor from making payments of any of his debts and transferring any property belonging to him. However, nothing shall affect or impair the rights of secured creditors. Ibig sabihin, class, pag-file ng liquidation ng creditors, number 1, mag-show cause order si judge. Show cause order ang tawag niyan, class. Na ipakita ni individual debtor kung talaga may insolvent siya. And then, pwede rin si judge mag-order na order yung individual, huwag mo muna ipang-benta, ipang-dispose yung mga properties mo. Kasama yun, pwede sa order. Okay. Number 3, default of the individual debtor. Okay? Ibig sabihin sa default, class, nag-order na si judge na mag-show cause siya kung bakit kailangan ba siyang liquidate o hindi. Tapos pagkatanggap niya ng order ni judge, hindi siya nag-answer, hindi siya nagpunta sa court, hindi siya nag-appear. Ang tawag doon, default of the individual debtor. Ano mangyayari? If the individual debtor shall default, or if after trial the issues are found in favor of the petitioning creditors, the court shall issue the liquidation order. Okay, ibig sabihin, dalawang pwede mangyari. Orderan ni judge si debtor na to show cause kung bakit ba siya hindi maging insolvent. Okay, kapag nag-default siya, hindi siya nag-answer, diretso ng liquidation order si judge. If nag-answer naman siya pero nakita ng court na talagang insolvent siya, mag-issue pa rin ng liquidation order. And then yung liquidation order will be discussed in part 5. Basta just know na pagkatapos nito, may liquidation order. So ilan na yung procedure ng liquidation order? Doon sa juridical debtors, voluntary, nag-file ng voluntary liquidation yung debtor, may liquidation order doon. Doon sa involuntary liquidation ng juridical debtors, meron ding liquidation order doon. Dito naman sa individual debtors, yung voluntary at saka involuntary, may liquidation order din. Ibig sabihin, basta involuntary or involuntary liquidation, whether juridical or individual debtors, nagkakaiba lang sa pag-umpisa ng case, pero magkakaroon pa rin ng liquidation order yung apat na yun. Tapos isahin na lang natin ang discussion ng liquidation order pababa dahil pareho na yun lahat. Just take note, class, doon sa suspension of payments, which is not a full liquidation. Walang liquidation order doon, kundi agreement lang ng debtor and creditor. Okay. Absent individual debtor. O, example, wala dito yung individual debtor. Wala sa Pilipinas, so nagtago. In all cases where the individual debtor resides out of the Republic of the Philippines or has departed therefrom or cannot after due diligence be found, talagang nagtago, or conceals himself to avoid service of the order to show cause or any other preliminary process or orders in the matter, then the petition creditors, upon submitting of affidavit, requisite procure an order of publication. So kapag hindi talaga makita yung debtor, so wala mabigyan ng kopya ng order. So ang gagawin ng creditors na nag-file ng involuntary liquidation, okay, they will submit affidavits, ikwento nila kung bakit hindi makita yung debtor. Then i-ask nila si judge na mag-order na i-publish na lang yung show cause order o saka yung petition sa newspaper para considered na nabasa na ng debtor. After that, after na-publish, yung sheriff order ng court na kunin ang properties ng debtor, dalhin sa court. Kasi nga, ang proceedings is dito sa PREA is in rem. Okay, in rem. So, kukunin yung properties, i-deposit doon sa court habang patuloy yung kaso. Okay, so patuloy pa rin yung kaso kasi kahit nawala yung debtor kasi na-publish na yung notice niya sa kanya, sa order, sa yung petition. Okay, then tuloy-tuloy yung kaso, magkakaroon pa rin ng liquidation order habang hawak ng court yung properties ng debtor. Okay? So that is the end of part 4. In part 5, we will discuss liquidation proceedings from the liquidation order down. Okay. Hopefully, yun na yung end ng FRIA.